I was washing dishes when I first noticed something was wrong. My dad had been coming around more often. At first, I thought it was nice. He and my daughter, Sarah, had always been close. But then, it started feeling off. He lingered too long after dinner, watched her too closely when she talked. When she laughed, his eyes lit up in a way that made my stomach turn. Then I saw the way he hugged her. It was just a second too long. His hands rested a little too firmly on her back. And when she pulled away, his eyes looked almost sad. Longing. Like he was losing something. I tried to tell myself I was imagining it. That I was overthinking things. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. One evening, I walked into the living room and found them sitting too close. Sarah was showing him something on her phone, completely unaware of how he was looking at her. His body leaned in, his eyes locked on her, not her face, not the screen. Lower. My blood turned cold. Dad. My voice was sharp. Sharper than I meant it to be. He stuttered and sat back quickly, clearing his throat. Yes. It's late, I said. You should get going. He hesitated. His eyes flicked to Sarah. Do you want me to leave, sweetheart? Sarah blinked, confused. Oh, I guess. It is late. His face fell. Just for a second. Then, he smiled. All right. I'll see you soon. I watched him go, my heart pounding. I knew what I saw. And I knew I couldn't ignore it. I told my husband that night. I expected him to laugh, to tell me I was overreacting. But instead, he just got really quiet. You saw it too, he finally asked. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? He exhaled. I've noticed it for a while. The way he looks at her. But I didn't want to say anything because it's your dad. I covered my mouth. Oh my God. What do we do? He asked. I didn't know. The next time Dad came over, I watched him like a hawk. And that's when I saw it, his hand on her knee. Just resting there. Subtle. Almost innocent. But not at all. I lost it. Dad, can I talk to you? My voice was shaking as I pulled him into the kitchen. He smiled, oblivious. Of course, sweetheart. I turned to face him, my heart racing. What the hell are you doing? His face flickered with something, guilt. Annoyance. He covered it quickly. What do you mean? You know what I mean. The way you look at her, the way I swallowed hard. She's your granddaughter, Dad. He actually had the audacity to look hurt. I love her. Not like that. My voice cracked. You're sick. His face darkened. You're making this into something it's not. Am I? I glared at him. Then why do I feel sick every time I see you near her? He clenched his jaw. I would never hurt her. Then stay away from her. His face twisted. You can't keep me from her. She loves me too. My skin crawled. Get out. He stared at me for a long time, his expression unreadable. Then, without another word, he turned and walked out the door. I locked it behind him. And for the first time in my life, I was afraid of my own father. I thought that was the end of it. I thought he would stay away, let things settle. But I was wrong. The next morning, Sarah came downstairs with a strange look on her face. Grandpa texted me last night, she said. My stomach clenched. What did he say? She shrugged, unlocking her phone. He said he missed me. And that he hoped I didn't believe what you said about him. I grabbed her phone before I could stop myself. There it was. Sweetheart, I don't know what your mom is thinking. I love you so much. I always have. Please don't let her come between us. Rage and fear twisted inside me. He wasn't letting go. He was trying to turn her against me. I looked up at Sarah. She looked nervous, confused. Mom, what's going on? I took a deep breath. Sarah, I need you to block him. Right now. Her eyes widened. What? No. He's Grandpa. He loves me. Sarah, please. You don't understand. Her face hardened. Then explain it to me. I hesitated. How could I tell her? How could I make her see what I saw without destroying her image of him? He's been acting wrong, I finally said. He's crossing boundaries that he shouldn't. Sarah shook her head. That's ridiculous. Grandpa's always been affectionate. That doesn't mean. It's different, I cut in. The way he looks at you. The way he touches you. She went pale. Mom, stop. You're making it weird. Sarah, I'm trying to protect you. She looked away, arms crossed. I don't believe you. My heart sank. And that's when I knew I wasn't just fighting my father. I was fighting Sarah's trust, too. I had no choice. I had to do something before he poisoned her mind completely. I called my father. We need to talk, I said. If you're ready to apologize. No. If you ever contact Sarah again, I'm going to the police. Silence. Then, low and cold, he said, you wouldn't do that. Try me. His breath was heavy on the line. You're making a mistake. No, Dad. You did. Now stay away. I hung up. Then I did the hardest thing I've ever done. I told Sarah the truth. Everything. She didn't believe me at first. But then I showed her the messages. The way he tried to manipulate her. The way he tried to turn her against me. Tears welled in her eyes. I don't understand. He's Grandpa. Not anymore, I said. Not after this. She blocked him. And just like that, my father was gone from our lives. I don't know if I did the right thing. But I know I did what I had to. Please subscribe, like and comment on the video.